You make it sound so easy. La LaRue, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. And we have at least a couple more comics coming to the stage, folks. Elvis.
Canaveral.
Elvis Graveyard. Elvis Canaveral. There's a lot of hands and ants. There's a lot of swoops in here. Is there an Elvis in that room?
There is.
Oh, sweet. Give it up for Elvis, everybody. Elvis! Give it up for Elvis. He's come to the stage. He's got a lot of blinky lights and something that looks like a UFO.
Cheers. Hi there, I'm Elvis Canaveral. I have an invention called an Elijah unit. It's a mannequin with a spherical camera for a head. I have one over here in the front row, allows you to record a moment as well as be in the moment. I also have a variation of it that I use for recording pinball, and then there's another variation that's on my shoulder, which is, I call it B.Zaphod Bibelbroxing. It allows you to experience what it's like to be my second head. It's pretty useful. One of the nice things about it allows you to record a moment as well as be in it. I use it a lot in the interacting with my daughter. Best thing I ever did was, when my daughter was born, I formed an art collective with her where I treat her as an equal partner. It meant that I didn't have to decide between my kid and art. It meant that my kid was the source of the art. So we have a bunch of projects together. She's an equal partner in them. We have a band. We're known as the former Teenage Heartthrobs. She's the front man. We started a bolo tie company called As Above, So Below. When she was born, when I held her for the first time, I had this eye bolo tie on, and she reached out with her hand and wrapped her hand around and pulled me closer. So it's my way of having my daughter with me wherever I go. I'm a type 1 diabetic, not that poser type 2 diabetes shit. Fuck those guys. I really wish that type 2 diabetes had a different name, because it's very frustrating, because while the two are related in the most peripheral way, they're not the same thing. So I always hear on news reports, and when we come back, a new treatment for diabetes, and it's always type 2 diabetes, and the new treatment is to not dip it in fudge. I have a medical alert bracelet that I wear. It says type 1 diabetic motherfucker. The idea being that if I find myself between worlds, the point screaming motherfucker is the way back to Earth and back where my daughter is. So it's my way of playing the long game. When my wife was pregnant, I knew I was going to have to reevaluate my time and how I spent my time. And I'm a person who spends a lot of time playing games. I really like games, and I decided I was going to have to limit myself, because I used to limit myself to like one role-playing game a year, under the idea that in the time that I spent playing, Elder Scrolls or Fallout, that I could have written a book or 3. So when my wife was pregnant, I decided I was going to limit my gaming to pinball, under the idea that I'd spend less time thinking about gaming, because I think about games even when I'm not playing games. I think about what I'll do when I get back to it, and try to be the most efficient when I get back to it. But by limiting myself to pinball, every game you start anew, so it basically allows for an entire ram dump of preoccupation, so it allows me to be more present in the moment. And I thought I'd spend, less time thinking about gaming. What ended up happening is I focused like a freaking laser beam on pinball. Right now I'm making a app with some folks. It's called Elvis Canaveral's Pinball Dojo, a game of depth. And it takes place inside the Pinball Pagoda that Bruce Lee was designed for his film Game of Death, the film that he died before he got to finish completing. There's a complete film of the version out there that came out in 1978. Do not see it. It is horrible. At one point they use cutouts of Bruce Lee's head and cardboard to fill in for scenes. It's just terrible. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a different area of mastery on every floor of this Pinball Pagoda. On the first floor, we concentrate on flipper skills and how to pass between the back and forth in kind of a rhythm skill game. On the second floor, that master is going to teach you about accuracy, and you're going to learn how to make your shots. The third floor is all about nudging and plunging, because that's what separates a professional pinball player from the casuals. The realization that you can move the table. Pinball works as a wonderful philosophy for life, which you realize you can move things and nudge things to your favor. It's a much more positive, interactive way instead of just being that passive pinball where it'll eventually drain. The fourth floor, we concentrate on strategies and multi-ball. And then on the fifth floor, this is the part that I'm most excited about. That's where you get to meet the master of no form, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar looking master who can really just play the hell out of a pinball machine. But the way you play him is through the back glass. So his nudges affect your game. And then now that we've introduced basic pinball skills and to people, we can move forward. So the cool thing is that you can have different swappable masters playing through the back glass. So we're going to be changing pinball as we know it. If you want to find out more about what we do, you can find me over at pincombo.com. I'm Elvis Canaveral. I appreciate you.
Yay! Pinball Machine! There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know how big the audience was. Other hand-rolled comics you saw tonight, with or without exoskeletons of cyborg-style equipment. Good night.